In Fae Farm, you can change the in-game day length by going to gameplay settings from the menu. You can play at the default pace, which is about 18 minutes per day, or double it to around 36 minutes for a more relaxing experience. My name is Myrabels, and in this video, I am going to give you 28 tips to help you get started in Fae Farm. Don't worry because this is all spoiler-free. Tip number 2. Don't stress about character customization. There is an item called a customization mirror, which you will be able to craft within the first 2 weeks in-game. This mirror will let you change your character's appearance anytime. You can also edit your character's outfit at any time by going to your inventory and pressing this button over here. You will need to buy clothing or unlock some through story progression for this though. The first day in-game gives you unlimited time and energy, but keep an eye out for the quest from Pearl to sell items in town. Talking to Merit after doing this quest will end the day. Before that happens, you can do whatever you like with unlimited energy. Your energy bar on the top left corner of the screen will deplete, but you can continue doing actions regardless. This is a good time to explore the map, find out what each shop sells, gather forageables like berries and tea leaves, and collect some scrolls, which includes crafting recipes. During this time, you can also gather lots of resources by chopping down trees, digging these plots of land, breaking rocks, or cutting grass. You can stock up on resources and clear up a good amount of area in your farm using this method. But keep in mind that you will eventually be able to upgrade your tools. Each upgrade will make the actions easier, and it will give you an additional resource gathered, so don't get too crazy on the first day. The resources in your farm also don't regenerate, while those outside your farm does. You can also catch unlimited fish and bugs during this time. Utilize your map for navigation. Your map shows quest locations and various points of interest. You can pin a location or a person by clicking on the area and choosing track. There will be a guide that appears on your UI which will point you to the pinned location. Different quest icons corresponds to different types of quests like main story quests, relationship quests, etc. While you are going around, don't hesitate to explore and utilize your jump ability to reach various places. Some roads are blocked with some thorns or black mist, which you can still actually pass through if you just jump around it. The game rewards exploring like this with random scroll recipes. Sometimes you will also see some green orbs scattered around the map, which gives you extra energy. If you ever get stuck, press escape and select the Help I'm Stuck button to teleport to a safe location. Let's talk a little about controls. There is a shortcut to stack similar items to your inventory shed and one for transferring a whole stack. Using this is more efficient than opening the menu to choose an individual action. While tending to your crops, you can simply stay in one location and hold the button to plant or water multiple tiles at once. As a side note, keep an eye on your watering can level. I don't know if it's just me, but I absolutely hate the sound that an empty watering can makes. So, I make sure it does not reach that level. There is an emote wheel that you can use to make the game more immersive and fun. The wave emote can be used to make an animal follow you. There is also a different wheel for multiplayer coordination. You can let your teammates know if you want to craft something, if you need something, if you agree or not, and many others. For inventory management, I highly recommend getting a backpack upgrade early in the game. The first upgrade costs 500 florins and it adds an additional 8 inventory slots. You also have a storage shed that has almost unlimited storage capacity right below your house, so make it a habit to store your items there regularly before exploring. Crafting or cooking will get items directly from storage, so you don't have to worry about that. This storage can also be accessed from inside your house by pressing the button over here. On that same note, I highly recommend you hoard everything that you obtain in the game. Majority of the quests will require certain items that are hard to come by, so it's good to always have extra. Plus, it's almost always more profitable to convert most items into artisan products before selling it. So you can keep those until you unlock more processing machines. So how can you make money if you are going to hoard all the items? The answer for that are toasted berries and by just following the main quest. This is a good enough source of money for very early game and should give you a decent amount to buy seeds and get your first tool upgrades. On your first day where you have unlimited time and energy, make sure to fill up all the slots in the table in Central Town with toasted berries. This can be made by putting huckleberries, which is abundant around the map, in the cooking fire. You can only sell a limited amount of items per day, and items don't stack on the sales tables, so don't forget to do this. Eventually, you will unlock additional slots for selling more items and better sources of money. I recommend getting your tools to at least iron level as soon as possible. You will need to talk to Cindy for this, and you have to upgrade a tool to bronze first before you can upgrade it to iron. Bronze upgrade only takes 1 bronze ingot and 100 florins, while iron upgrade takes 2 iron ingots and 500 florins. Each upgrade is immediate, so you don't need to worry about not having your tool for a while. The priority should be the pickaxe since upgrading that will make it easier to mine ores for the other tool upgrades. Cooking is faster if you cook items one by one instead of stacking it together. It's a good idea to do this if you are rushing to get the items. Otherwise, you can simply leave more items cooking while you do other stuff. In general, processed items will sell for a higher price than the base product. However, make sure to check this by only processing one item first, then comparing the prices of the raw versus processed product. For example, this cauliflower can be sold for 25 florins, but if you cook it in the campfire, its price goes down to 23 florins. This does not happen often, and so far I only noticed it for cauliflower, but it's a good idea to check it from time to time. In order to fish, throw the lure in front of the fish and jiggle it until the fish looks at your bait. The fish does move from time to time, so you have to look at its movement pattern and be patient. You can cancel and redo it if the fish doesn't seem to notice after a few seconds. But when it does, jiggle your line once, then the fish should bite. Once it bites, hold A, but stop if the line goes red. You can also switch to just lightly tapping A so the line does not snap. When the fish faces you again and the line goes back to white, you can hold A again. There is a simple fishing option from settings, but I've noticed that this does not change the difficulty level for fishing. It simply changes the controls. Normally, you'd have to hold the button to reel in, but switching to simple fishing changes this to a toggle mode. Try both to see what's more comfortable for you. Keep an eye out for glowing fish or critters. These are rare critters that you will want to keep for quests. In this game, you can save at any time, so don't worry about rushing through your day or missing your progress when you have to close the game in the middle of a day. Time pauses in-game when you are in the menu, storage, or build mode. However, time continues to move when you are crafting or cooking, so make sure you don't spend too much time idle here. At 12 midnight, the day will automatically end and you will be teleported back to your house the next day without any penalty. But do keep in mind that if you don't pass out, you gain a well-rested buff for a short amount of time, which gives passive health, stamina, and mana regen. Don't skip out on decorations. There is a stat called the coziness factor which increases as you place certain decorations in your house. The cozier your house is, the more you can regenerate health, energy, and mana. Don't forget that you can place an item on top of some items. This is done outside of build mode and you will just see the option pop up when you are near an object that allows this. You can always reclaim the resources that you place in your farm or house. Simply choose Reclaim from the build menu and all the materials you used to construct that item will be put back in your inventory. You can also just move around items, and this includes your crops and flowers. This certainly makes planning out your farm layout easier. Speaking of that, plant flowers as soon as you can and start breeding them. You will need this in a lot of instances. It took me a while to find mulch, which is needed to make a flower soil bed, but it is actually just over here on the right side of your farm, so get started on this as soon as you can. Like I said earlier, you can always move flowers, so you can rearrange your flowers in different ways to breed different types and colors. If your animals keep getting in the way of you trying to tend to your crops, then consider crafting an animal lure. This will keep your animals in a certain region most of the time so they will stop getting in your way. Temperature has an effect on your character. There are certain seasons and regions that are either too hot or too cold for your character. You can craft a green tea from a beverage station to withstand the cold for a few hours, and you can craft iced tea to withstand the heat. Those are just some examples, and there are other beverages that will have the similar effects. Another cool thing is that you can jump into the water to cool down your character from the heat too. As a side note, jumping into the water also refills your watering can. In the mines, each level has this pedestal where you can put an item called Mine Seal. Placing one will unlock fast travel to that level. Different levels require different types of mine seals. When crafting seals, pay attention to which levels in the mines will need that type of seal so that you don't end up crafting more than you need. You also need to activate the pedestal consecutively per level. This means that you cannot skip directly to activating the pedestal in level 5 without activating the ones from levels 1 to 4. Don't skip out on potions. I recommend buying the Zoom potion, which only costs 50 florins and will give you movement speed buff. You can also use a Gone potion, which will make you invisible to critters and enemies in the mines. Eventually, you'll be able to craft your own potions later on in the game, but that's all I have for my beginner's guide. Let me know in the comments if you have other tips for new players, and consider subscribing for more Fae Farm content.